Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Coming at you again, I guess. Coming back at you for another episode here. And without further ado, jumping into Rivian Q3 deliveries beat expectations and jumped 23% from the previous quarter. Now, I believe their goal from the previous quarter was to deliver like 50 some thousand cars at the end of the year or something like that. That could be way off. I think that's what it was though, and I think the CEO said he wanted to produce about 75,000 was the goal. And as it does say here in the article, so Rivian reported Monday produced 16,304 vehicles at its Normal, Illinois factory and delivered 15,564 to customers. Higher than expected, especially after how slow they've been in the past few quarters. Now, with that, they expected to produce 52,000 vehicles in 2023. It has produced about 39,691 to date. We are going in to the final quarter of the year, though. And with that said, the CEO did, I believe, say he wanted to shoot for 75,000, although this is the public number, 52K. But Rivian produces 4 vehicles. It's 2 consumer vehicles, the R1T truck, the R1S SUV, and 2 versions of its commercial van, which is the van that you see Amazon showing off their EV. Now, these are, again, 23% higher than the previous quarter when they produced 13,992 and delivered 12,640. So last year, they doubled it on last year. So Rivian making some progress here on their delivery. Honestly, out of all the other startup EV companies, Rivian's just straight up the most likely one to succeed, it seems. Well, we'll really find out in the long term here, but it seems like Rivian's got the best of it going on, at least for now. Next up is a sad day if you were an old person. Netflix mails its final DVDs to subscribers. Now, I am curious here what that really looks like, because what are they doing with them after? But they announced last April they would shut down their DVD rental business on September 29th, and saying the shrinking demand for physical rentals is making it increasingly difficult to offer the quality of service it wants, which is probably true, and how many people are still ordering it that way anyways. That says it has shipped, so many. The company shipped its first disc, Beetlejuice, in 1998 and has since shipped 5.2 billion movies in red envelopes to more than 40 million customers. So apparently people watch a lot of movies. And they tweeted out or X'd out or whatever you want to call it. Netflix will mail its final DVD on September 29th, 2023, but the red envelope will always remain an enduring symbol of our loved entertainment. Then they posted a picture of a sign with the Netflix logo and another grayed out TV screen that says DVDs will always be in our DNA. So DVD rentals paved the way for Netflix. That's how they got started before they were, basically the first major online streaming platform. But they, paved the way for streaming on demand in 2007 when it grew to become quickly the company's most popular offering 2 years later in 2009. And the rest is what we know Netflix to be today. Now, it gradually expanded to produce its own streaming content, now counts over 238 million subscribers. Meanwhile, DVDs rentals, which shifted to DVD.com, have gradually become a minor part of Netflix, which really is not that surprising, especially after the pandemic and stuff. Just makes way more sense that people would be going back to streaming, even older people, because that's what the pandemic did to everybody. And while this video purist is still loves, and while the video purists still love DVDs and Blu-rays, sales worldwide have dropped 19% from 2021 to 2022 alone. And in a recent blow, Disney said it was halting DVD and Blu-ray production in Australia. So Netflix is just finally moving on from their red envelopes. And with that, on to our next topic, which Mr. Beast just had a huge deal with Samsung happen where they're going to start using those phones as vlogging devices while they're recording. And now Mr. Beast is putting his snack logo on NBA jerseys. So Jimmy making some moves out here, big plays. But he struck a new partnership with the Charlotte Hornets that will plaster his snack logo on the NBA team's jerseys. Now, that is pretty cool. Feastables will be what's being advertised on there, his snacks over anything else. But nonetheless, to have a see a YouTube channel, which most would have thought would be insane to be getting to this point, but there's a YouTube channel getting to this point. Feastables managed to make over 10 million in the months following its launch. I don't know if Mr. Beast tweeted that or why we think that. Um, but nonetheless, he managed to do it, and it's what's going on. And with that, there's just not too much about to say about that, other than it's just impressive to see again a YouTube channel capable of doing that. They will also sell jerseys with the Feastable brand on their Hornets fan shop. Wow, there's just the world has really come around. It's really, really happening, and I mean, Mr. Beast is just paving the way. Not shockingly, but he is paving the way. And this is possibly my favorite one today. We already covered the iPhone 15 Pro had a weird overheating issue that Apple said was due to some third-party apps like Instagram. And they also said that there was some things they could do themselves to fix it a little bit as well. Well, to follow that up, some people are reporting that when they plug their iPhone into a charger, like charging dock or like a power bank, that their iPhone is dead when they come back to grab it, which is very weird. Until you remember this is the first year that the iPhone has reverse charging to charge smaller Apple devices like the Apple Watch, like your AirPods. The iPhone is capable of sending power to those devices now. Well, it turns out that when plugged into a power bank, like a Type-C power bank, what'll happen is the iPhone, if you're plugged into the charging banks, like charging Type-C, some power banks, like some from Anchor for sure, you can charge via Type-C, and you can also get power from that same port. What is happening here is the iPhone are connecting their thing to an Anchor power bank, iPhone to Anchor power bank, and the power bank is, for whatever reason, being overwritten, and the iPhone is charging that and running the iPhone out of battery, which is absolutely wild to think that's what's happening. And it's Apple doesn't flunder very many things, but clearly Type-C is something they would have needed more time for. I think what we're really seeing here, to be completely honest, is Apple was never planning on going to Type-C. I think this is what this really shows, because it would have been more perfected, or more, these little things like this would have been kind of ironed out ahead of time. Instead, they kind of aren't, which makes me think they were hoping to go from Lightning, get wireless charging up to a point where they thought they could switch to it and just get rid of ports. That's kind of what this tells me, and it'd be hard to argue anything else. Now, this is obviously unexpected behavior, and I think the fingers just pointed at Apple here. I don't really think there's anyone else to point it at, and with that, we'll just have to wait and see until Apple fixes this, because no other devices do this, so you can't really point it at Anchor. It's just Apple's first time on Type-C. And to follow that up, we talked about this a while ago, but Tesla had shown off this futuristic diner with a drive-in movie theater and a supercharger and all these great things. And we talked about the idea of it and how cool something like that would be. I don't know, it might have been 6 months ago already. And nothing really happened with that. As some companies do, they just show things off that never happened. But Tesla has broken ground on the site of its planned futuristic diner. Now, I love that the image that they've shown here, and I believe this is the one that came from Tesla, shows like, it looks like an old-fashioned diner, but then it's obviously not. And I believe this is the same thing where they showed wireless charging car pads underneath. Um, but this project is actually happening. Now, this will definitely be like a dine-in, go to, like, have fun place. Oh, there's even other pictures here. That's awesome. Look, I mean, look at that. That just looks so cool. Now, I don't know how many of these they'll end up building in the long run. I'm getting used to this new laptop there. Sorry. But it'll be cool to see something like this built at some point. Is there anything cool written on this? Public health? I don't know. It's cool. The upper seating area. Clearly, you can charge your cars. There is normal charging stations here. You can see here they got not a flamethrower. There's a bunch of little. Is that the Roadster? I think that's the Roadster. And just some cool things here. Now, this is probably a separate render. This doesn't look like it's an actual Tesla one, but it'd be cool to have a destination like this to go to and enjoy. And um, there is some more things we've learned about this apparently. So now Elon Musk has said that Tesla planned to open an old school drive-in, roller skates, and rock restaurant, and this will be at one of its new superchargers located in Los Angeles. And yet another is he joking idea from Elon Musk, but as always, some of these things just come to fruition. And due to the filing here, we've also learned that it'll be a semicircular two-story diner with 29 supercharger stalls and 2 movie theater screens. And that will be interesting to go see at some point. But yeah, you can see they have actually broke ground here. Um, and with that, we have just, wow, looks exactly like the pictures. Not shocking, actually. Super cool. It'll be fun to see this once it's done. Obviously not done yet, but once it's there, I mean, super cool thing to go visit and check out and just see what's up. And with that, that concludes today's episode. I don't have any other topics here, and just kind of a shorter episode. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.